$5? That's it. That's the whole secret nobody ever bothered to explain to you. Right now, somewhere in your day, $5 is slipping through your fingers, and you don't even feel it go. Maybe it's a coffee. Maybe it's a snack, a delivery fee, a subscription you forgot you were paying for. It feels like nothing. And that's exactly the trap, because that same $5, handled differently, could quietly grow into more money than you earn in years at your job. Sounds like a stretch? Stay with it, because the math is about to surprise you. Here's the part most people get completely wrong. They think building wealth is about the big move, the perfect stock, the lucky break, the huge paycheck that finally fixes everything. So they wait. They wait until they earn more, until the debt is gone, until life finally calms down. And while they wait, the one force that actually builds wealth keeps passing them by. That force is time, not money. Time. Here's what that looks like. $5 a day is about $150 a month. Over a year, that's roughly $1,800. On its own, that's fine, but it's not going to change your life. Drop it in a jar and leave it there for 30 years, and you'd have a little over $50,000. Nice. But nowhere near the number this is really about. So where does the fortune actually come from? One word: compounding. Compounding is a simple idea wearing a scary name. It just means your money earns money, and then that new money earns money too. The first year, your small pile grows a little. The second year, it grows on top of the bigger pile. The third year, bigger still. Every year, the growth stacks onto the year before, so the curve starts slow, almost boring, and then bends upward like it suddenly woke up. Picture a snowball at the top of a hill. At first, it's tiny. You can barely see it move. But every turn wraps on a little more snow, and the bigger it gets, the faster it grows, until the thing crashing down the hill looks nothing like the little ball you started with. Your money does the exact same thing as long as you give it a hill to roll down. So, what's the hill? Here's the honest part, because this channel doesn't do hype. A regular savings account will not do this. Most of them pay almost nothing, and inflation quietly eats the rest. To get real compounding, your money has to be invested, usually in something plain and boring like a low-cost index fund. An index fund is just one basket that holds hundreds of America's biggest companies at the same time. You're not gambling on a single winner. You're buying a slice of the whole market and letting time do the heavy lifting. And the whole market has a long track record. Historically, the U.S. stock market has returned around 10% a year on average, and closer to 7% once you strip out inflation. Some years it soars, some years it drops, and it drops hard, and pretending otherwise would be a lie. But zoom out across decades, and the direction has been up and to the right. Put it in real terms. $10,000 left alone in an S&P 500 fund back in 1995 would be worth somewhere around $190,000 today. Same money. You just had to leave it alone and not panic. And that last part is the hard part, if you're honest about it. Because the market will scare you at some point. A headline will scream that everything is crashing, and every cell in your body will beg you to pull your money out. The people who win are simply the ones who don't. They keep adding their small amount month after month, straight through the scary years, when everyone else is running for the exit. Boring wins, panicking loses. That's most of the game. So let's run your $5 through that engine. $150 a month every month invested this time instead of just saved. Using a careful, inflation-adjusted return of about 7% in 30 years that grows to somewhere near $180,000. Stretch it to 40 years, a full working life, and it climbs past $400,000. And if the market delivers closer to its full historical average, that 40-year number pushes toward $1 million. Read that line again. $1 million from $5 a day. Now here's the detail that should stop you cold. Look at how much of that money you personally put in. Over 40 years, your own contributions add up to only about $70,000. That's the whole deposit. The other 300,000, 400,000 more, you never earned that at a desk. Your money earned it. While you slept. While you were busy living. That's the quiet magic of compounding once you stop interrupting it. So why doesn't everyone do this? Two reasons. The first is that starting feels pointless. $5 looks far too small to matter, so people wait for a serious amount before they begin. But the small amount was never the point. Starting the clock was the point. Which leads straight into the second reason, and it's the one that quietly costs people the most. Waiting. Every single year you delay isn't just one missed year of saving. It's 1 year stolen from the far end of the curve, the steepest, most powerful stretch, where the growth is at its biggest. Let that sink in, because it flips how most people think about later. Picture two friends the same age. Call them the early starter and the late starter. The early starter puts in that 150 a month from age 25 to 35, just 10 years, and then stops completely and never adds another dollar. The late starter waits, then begins at 35 and pays in faithfully for 30 straight years, 3 times as long. Who ends up with more? Usually the early starter. The one who invested for 10 years and quit still beats the one who invested for 30. Same market, same monthly amount. The only difference is that the early money got more time to roll downhill. Time beats effort. Time even beats bigger contributions. Does that change how "I'll start next year" sounds to you now? And there's a real objection sitting underneath all of this, so let's name it honestly. More than half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and when the account is already stretched thin, being told to just invest $5 a day can sound almost insulting. That's fair, so let's make this doable instead of preachy. You don't have to conjure up new money. You reroute money you're already spending. Hunt for one quiet leak, one subscription you never open, one habit that's more reflex than real joy. Then redirect just that and nothing more. Once you've found it, automate it so the decision happens without you. Set up a small automatic transfer into a low-cost index fund on the same day your paycheck lands, before the money is even in reach. Automatic beats motivated every time, because motivation fades by Friday, but a setting just keeps running. Make it concrete. Say you buy a $5 coffee on your way to work most mornings. You don't have to give it up forever. You just move that same $5 on autopilot into your index fund first, and then decide what's left for coffee. Same money, same habit, only now one version of you is building something and the other is drinking it. Do that once, correctly, and you never have to think about it again. The best money systems are the ones you set up on a quiet afternoon and then forget, while they keep working for years without asking anything from you. Start with whatever is honestly possible. $2, $5, $10. The exact number matters far less than the fact that the snowball is finally moving. You can always make it bigger later, when a raise shows up or a debt finally clears. What you can never buy back are the years you spent waiting for the perfect moment that was never coming. So go back to that $5 slipping through your day. It's still there. It's still yours. The only real question is which version of it you want. The one that vanishes into another coffee you'll forget by lunch, or the one that quietly grows into something that could reshape your entire future. Same $5. Completely different life. And the clock starts the day you decide to let it roll. Subscribe for calm, no-hype money breakdowns every week, and let's keep building this the steady way.